The following clip is about a family that lives near the gypsum coal mines and the Appalachian region in a home that has been passed down through generations. The house has been in their family for decades, but whatever lives there now doesn't feel like family. Some days the house is quiet, other days it's intensely active, but one afternoon things escalated in a way they couldn't ignore. Watch closely.
What'd you hear?
I heard a help or something.
On the back porch?
There's one back there.
Okay, hold on.
And then it's like I heard Lila's voice say it, and then I heard Dad just say hey, and I didn't do anything about it because I don't know.
Sissy's voice?
Yes. And then I heard some whistling.
I need you to, okay, all right. I'm gonna stay upstairs because Gunner is freaked out. He is freaked out. All right. It was loud, and it was Lila.
I heard Dad's voice just say, hey.
Yeah. So there's two different voices on the back porch. I'm not opening the door. I am upstairs with Gunner right now. There's nobody out there, Michael. There's nobody out there. Okay. All right, I love you too. Bye.
The little boy hears his father's voice, but his dad isn't even home yet. He's still on his way back. The mother immediately tries to comfort her son, and instinctively, she knows better than to open any door or window. As she tries to gather the dogs, she finds them in a strange position, but before she can even process it, she hears something. Listen carefully.
Oh my God. Why is my door opening?
A voice clearly says, "Help," and then the door starts shaking violently, like someone is trying to force their way inside. Then, this happens.
Look at the dogs. Don't. Oh my gosh. Tad, Sarge, get over here, baby. Come on. My house is really dark. Look at dogs. Taz, leave her alone. They're all froze.
When she says, "Look at the dogs," many viewers pointed out something chilling, a voice in the background saying, "Don't look, they're mine." And when she scolds the dogs for hitting the curtain, some viewers weren't convinced the dogs moved the curtain. That's when the pattern became disturbing. There's voice mimicry, sounding like the father. There's distress baiting, using words like help. There's possession language. They're mine. There's forced entry behavior, shaking doors, and then the curtain. This doesn't behave like a lost spirit. It behaves like something trying to lure, deceive, and provoke a response. Another evening, everyone is asleep, and her husband isn't home. She suddenly felt like someone was in her living room. Watch. At the very beginning, a voice can be heard saying, "Here." For several nights, this has become a pattern. She moves through the living room, finds nothing, and finally goes back to bed. But this time, it wasn't easy to just go back to bed. How do you sleep when this keeps happening?
So annoying. I was just about to fall back asleep.
This doesn't look random, it looks intentional, structured, persistent, aware. And the fact that the home sits near old mining land and Appalachian regions only deepens the fear. Areas long associated with folklore about mimics, entities, and trickster spirits that imitate loved ones to gain access. So what do you think? Is the house haunted, or is something after this particular family? Speaking of mimics, this next clip unsettled a lot of people for one very specific reason. A man is alone at his workplace when he suddenly hears a voice that sounds exactly like his own. And this isn't the first time it's happened. Have a look.
Oh my god. Boss? Ikaw na, boss? Yo, ako na siya nagtingog, oy.
No one else was supposed to be there. No coworker, just him. So if no one else is present, who was talking? But here's where the situation crosses a line. He responded. And to people familiar with mimic encounters, that's the one thing you're never supposed to do. Responding is often believed to be a form of acknowledgement, a signal that whatever is mimicking you has been noticed, heard, and invited into the interaction. Viewers pointed out that mimics rarely appear once. They repeat, they observe, they test boundaries. And once you answer back, it's like confirming, "Yes, I hear you." That's why so many people reacted strongly to this clip. Not because of what was heard, but because of what was said back. Have you ever responded to a mimic, and what happened after? This next clip was recorded inside a man's studio, a place that had already started raising questions long before the morning he made this video. One night, he realized he'd forgotten his phone charger and went back to grab it. As he approached the entrance, something peeked through the blinds, but when he went in, there was nothing. Then, another incident. Early one morning, around 5 a.m., his uncle, who lives on the other side of the studio, called him, saying the bathroom door had been making noise all night, loud enough to keep him awake. So he went over very early in the morning, and this is what he found.
Miren. Miren cómo se abre la persiana. Dicen un hilo. ¿Cómo puede hacer un hilo a eso? Sinceramente, miren. Miren. No me chingues. No me chingues. No, eso ya. No, espérate. No, ya me tengo que ir. Es muy temprano para estas chingaderas. Miren, o sea, dicen un hilo. Ah, chinga tu madre, a ver cuál hilo puedo abrir y cerrar así de lado a lado. Miren, cómo se mueve de aquí y de allá. Miren.
Once again, the blinds were moving on their own. When he finally gathered the courage to step inside, he checked every corner, every room, expecting to find someone hiding. Watch closely.
El baño está bien helado. Mire. Lo que se alcanza a ver es... Mira. ¿Se escucha? Sí, como una risa.
There was still no sign of a break-in, no open windows, and no disturbed locks, but he heard a strange laughter. After reviewing this video, viewers started focusing on one specific detail: the mirror in the bathroom. Many believe mirrors can act as focal points, not just reflective surfaces, but places where activity concentrates. Some speculate whatever peeked through the blinds that first night wasn't trying to enter, it was already inside. Others think the repeated movement of the blinds and the bathroom disturbances suggest something attempting to be seen, but never fully revealing itself. A presence that watches, listens, and reacts when noticed. And the laughter? That's what unsettled people the most, because laughter implies awareness. It implies intent. So was this a prank, an intruder who somehow vanished without a trace, or something else entirely? You decide. Now this next video is about a man named Steve, someone who claims he's been gifted with sight. According to him, he's able to see and communicate with spirits, often holding conversations to learn their stories, and sometimes just talking with them casually. One night, while recording, he captured this. Watch closely.
100% proof of spirits right here. Hi. How are you doing? Boy, are you a beauty. Boy, are you a beauty. Oh boy. And you fainted right away. That was amazing.
In the footage, a clearly defined orb appears, before slowly fading out of view. After seeing this video, skeptics immediately jump to dust or insects, but many in the paranormal community strongly believe orbs aren't dust, insects, or light reflections, especially when they move in controlled, deliberate patterns like this. Dust doesn't change direction, bugs don't fade in and out, and random light artifacts don't appear solid, move steadily, then disappear as if exiting the frame. Believers say orbs are one of the earliest and weakest forms of manifestation, energy gathering just enough strength to be seen, but not enough to fully take shape. Others believe they're residual spirits, lingering fragments of consciousness passing through a space rather than actively haunting it. Some even suggest that when someone who's sensitive or gifted is present, spirits may choose to appear in this form, almost like a cautious introduction rather than a full manifestation. Given Steve's history of communication and the timing of the appearance, a lot of people believe this wasn't accidental. So what do you think? Is this just dust catching the light at the perfect angle, or something aware choosing to be seen? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. In this next clip, Kyle shares another disturbing update from inside his home. This time, it's not the familiar sound of children's voices coming from the attic. Something else has started happening. Kyle says he keeps noticing shadows moving just out of the corner of his eye, and always disappearing the moment he turns to look directly at them. One night he saw the shadow again, so he put on his camera hoping to finally catch whatever it was. Watch closely. the camera captures a voice, and it unmistakably sounds like a child. When a shadow phase is followed by voices, it's often seen as a sign that whatever is present is becoming more aware of the person living in the space. And children's voices? Those raise even more questions. Some believe spirits mimic children to appear harmless, while others think these voices could be residual sounds, replaying moments tied to the house's past. Kyle's friends believe this is the same presence he's been dealing with all along, now moving beyond isolated spaces like the attic or basement and into the rest of the house. Others think the shadows suggest something different, so the question now is, are the shadows and the voice connected, or has something new entered the house, slowly making itself known? Either way, this situation feels like it's evolving, and not in a good way. Now, in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the infamous Boyd house, and this time, he heads straight for the attic. Watch closely.
I just come here to be your friend and to play games, talk. Could you tell me which one of these toys is your favorite toy? Could you describe it? Did you die in this house? All right, let's listen again. That was a dark question to ask after your favorite toy. Did you die here? You don't have to be shy. I just come here to be your friend. Which one of these toys is your favorite toy? Could you describe it? Whoa, 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 whoa. I just heard a whisper. Let's listen to that again. Which one of these toys is your favorite toy? Could you describe it? Dude, it sounds like he's saying seesaw. Like seesaw, like a horse seesaw or something like that, right? Oh, dude, that was awesome. Oh my gosh, okay, I gotta listen to the rest yet. Did you die in this house? Whoa. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, there was something like right at the end there. Dude, I don't know what he's saying, but he's definitely answering the last question. Did you die here? I don't know what exactly they said, but oh, dude, that gave me chills. Oh my gosh, I hope they didn't die here.
What makes this unsettling is the history. Everyone knows Fred and Minnie Ehart, the parents, both passed away inside this house. But the children? That part of the story is far less clear. Some researchers believe the attic may have been a space where the children spent much of their time, playing, hiding, or even being disciplined. Others think the sounds could be residual energy, moments replaying themselves over and over, trapped in the structure of the house. Whether it's lingering family energy or something else entirely, one thing is certain. The attic of the Boyd house may be holding on to more than anyone realizes. And whatever's up there hasn't finished telling its story. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, a family went to check out an apartment they were considering renting, but within minutes of stepping inside, something happened that none of them could explain. Watch this.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm scared of them. That's why I walked it.
Bubby, you stay with us.
I'm going down. Who's that?
Ooh, it's purple.
You want this room, Sally?
It's Harry Potter themed.
Asides the fact that an unidentified voice suddenly whispered Jadis, Viewers quickly pointed out something else that seems far more disturbing. There's a particular corner of the house that gave almost everyone watching the same unsettling feeling. It's the kind of spot that looks normal at first, but the longer you stare at it, the heavier it feels. Some viewers claim they could see faint, human-shaped figures shifting in the shadows. Others said that even through a screen, the corner looked wrong, almost like someone, or something, was standing there quietly, waiting for them to step closer. And then there's the little boy. The moment he said he was scared, a lot of people took that seriously, not because he sounded dramatic or confused, but because children are known to be extremely sensitive to things adults can't perceive. So, between the mysterious voice calling out a name, the strange corner that unsettled so many viewers, and the child's immediate reaction, many believe the family got all the signs they needed. Whether they listened or not, though, that's something everyone is still waiting to know. In this next clip, a family who had been dealing with several nights of unexplained knocking finally made the mistake that so many paranormal experts warn people about. They opened the door. They didn't see anyone there, no footsteps, no cars parked outside, but ever since that moment, their normal days have looked nothing like normal. Watch this. First, you see the chair rocking, as if something was sitting there and deliberately trying to be noticed. But the moment the man reached out to stop it, something else in the room reacted, like whatever was inside that house was saying, "If you stop me here, I'll just move somewhere else." And this is the exact pattern people online pointed out. Every time they try to interfere with one activity, another one starts up right behind them. It's like the presence in that house is trying to show dominance over the entire space. And judging by how effortlessly these objects move, and how quickly the activity escalates, whatever this is, it doesn't seem ready to leave anytime soon. On March 8th, 2023, Casey Lee was home with her family when her son suddenly ran out of the hallway, trying to get his dad's attention. He kept pointing, insisting that his father had to come see something. Watch.
This snack will go international. International. That looks good though, dude. We gotta try that. Alright, start this video. Break the ice. We're gonna break the rice. Slow down, some of the rice. Oh, no, that's sick. Oh, that's sick. Boy, that's amazing. Wow. Dude. Okay, let's go. That's amazing. That feels so trippy too. Oh, no crunches. Yeah. Down to oil. But I can't grab all these. I'm doing it. What? Oh, yeah. That's so satisfying. Yeah, that is. I like a ghost. A ghost? That looks amazing. Where? That took. Fuck that shit. Look at who? What ghost? What's that? Go get him. No.
What does the ghost look like?
What's that?
Like that? Where is he?
In there.
And where?
In there.
Here?
Uh-huh.
Further? you doing on your own, bud? Want me to turn the light on in the hallway? Huh? There's no ghost in there? Not anymore because the light's on? Someone's going in there? It's a ghost? Is it a nice ghost? Friendly ghost? Oh, do what? Am I fighting it? Fight it? I think we're good. Is it a big ghost or a little ghost?
Big ghost.
A big ghost?
Yeah.
Is it a boy ghost or a girl ghost?
Big ghost.
Big ghost.
In there.
We're almost there.
The boy was way too focused for them not to take him seriously, and according to Casey, this isn't the first time he's claimed to see something that no one else noticed at first. One example she gave was from a few months earlier, when he told her there was someone sitting by the shoe rack. They brushed it off as imagination, until the motion-activated light by the rack flicked on by itself, followed by the sound of something shifting across the tiles, exactly where he had pointed. After that moment, they learned to stop doubting him so quickly, which is why this latest incident is starting to bother them more than they expected. Casey says that the very next day after this clip was recorded, both of their dogs started barking ferociously at the same corner of the house, right at the end of the hallway where her son kept staring. Whatever her son saw, the animals definitely sensed it too, but until Casey shares more updates, this case remains completely unsolved. Now, in this next clip, TJ has recently adopted a deep fascination for haunted dolls, and over the past year, she's slowly built an entire collection, each doll with its own energy, history, and personality. Every now and then, she documents her new life living with these dolls, and although many people follow her page out of curiosity, most didn't expect her newest update to be this unsettling. Watch.
What's going on down there?
This clip quickly caught the attention of other collectors who started asking, how long did it take for her dolls to get comfortable enough to do this? They explained that many of their dolls stay completely silent for months, sometimes years, and that the quiet ones often make them the most nervous, because spirits that stay still for too long usually do so while observing the environment, adjusting, and waiting. To answer everyone's question, TJ gave a detailed response. Honestly, over a year. I had to really build a close relationship with them to get the activity I'm getting now. It was definitely not always this high. Things only started picking up when they felt like they knew me well. Her comment opened up another wave of debates. For now though, TJ insists she's comfortable with her dolls and isn't afraid, but viewers can't help but wonder if that's because she truly feels safe, or because whatever's attached to those dolls has already settled in more deeply than she realizes. In the following video, we have a man who claims he lives in a haunted house. And after months of documenting the activity, viewers finally traced the cause back to an African mask hanging in his home. But like most people who have already grown attached to something they own, he's been in complete denial. Friends have told him to get rid of it, viewers have begged him, but he always brushed it off, until things escalated way beyond the point of coincidence. Watch. First, it was a single loud bang. Then the wind chime swayed, and seconds later, the cupboard door slammed shut on its own. Everything seemed connected, almost as if something was moving through the house in a straight line, starting with the bang, triggering the chime, and ending with the kitchen cupboard. But what really convinced viewers that this has nothing to do with the house and everything to do with the mask was what happened next. Because the activity didn't stop at harmless noise, it grew aggressive. Watch this. The knife flew off and almost landed directly on his leg. And that wasn't the only incident. He's been waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. to scratching sounds on the walls, footsteps pacing around his bed, and sudden drops in temperature that make the room feel freezing cold. People in the comments use this as the final push to warn him again. It's the mask, take it down, remove it from your home before something even more dangerous happens. And after everything he's experienced, especially now that he's getting hurt, hopefully this time he finally believes them. Now, in this next clip, we're looking at one of the most unsettling situations a young family has ever had to deal with. For weeks, they've been reporting strange disturbances happening only at night. Small things at first, toys turning themselves on, footsteps in the hallway when everyone was asleep, and the baby monitor picking up faint whispers that definitely weren't coming from the parents. But recently, something changed, and whatever is happening now seems to be focused on their daughter. Every night, right after they put her to bed, she does the strangest thing. Watch this. You can hear the little girl, who is supposed to be fast asleep by this time, suddenly laughing in this almost diabolical, unsettling tone. And the way she stares, her eyes reflecting the infrared light like she's locked onto something none of us can see. That alone had viewers saying this doesn't look like normal sleep behavior at all. Some parents in the comments said this reminded them of episodes their kids had during extreme night terrors, but others are convinced this goes way beyond that. Now the parents are completely torn. They're not sure if they should call a priest, bring in a paranormal team, or just pack up and leave the house entirely. But with how quickly these episodes are escalating, doing nothing doesn't seem like an option anymore. What do you think they should do? Because whatever this is, it definitely isn't normal. Now, in this next clip, a man falls asleep with his bedroom light completely turned off, only to open his eyes around 1 a.m. and see that it's suddenly on. Watch.
Es la 1 de la mañana, acaban de prender la luz de la sala. Desde que compré ese espejo están pasando todas las cosas raras. A la madre. ¿Qué fue eso? Eso se está saliendo de control ya.
According to him, ever since he brought this toy home, this exact one right here, things inside his apartment have not been the same. At first, it was small things, a faint tapping in the hallway, soft creaks from the living room floorboards even though no one was out there. But with every passing night, the activity grew darker. He says he now wakes up almost every night to strange noises that seem to move from one room to another, like footsteps pacing in slow circles. And twice, something tried to forcefully twist his doorknob while he was sleeping. Not gently, not like a draft, but with the kind of pressure you'd expect from someone trying to get in. Even his cat, usually calm and curious, refuses to go near the toy. Instead, it'll sit in the doorway with its ears pinned back, staring into the darkness as if watching something move that he cannot see. And on the nights when the activity is strongest, the cat becomes restless, pacing from wall to wall, growling low under its breath. People in the comments were quick to say the same thing, be careful what you bring into your home. Sometimes it's not the object itself, but whatever might already be attached to it. And in his case, it's starting to look like he didn't bring home a toy at all. He brought home something that doesn't want to leave. In the following video, a student from the Philippines found herself trapped inside a classroom in the university's ophthalmology building, one of the oldest sections of the entire school and a place many students already claim has a strange atmosphere. According to her, she had stayed behind after hours to finish an assignment when she suddenly realized she couldn't get out. Watch.
Hindi ko alam kung magsisend to, pero kanina pa ako nandito. Walang pintong bumubukas at may topak ata tong phone ko. Pag tinatry ko siyang buksan, yung mga pinto, hindi naman siya nakalock, pero ayaw niyang bumukas. Eto, tignan niyo. Parang may humihila sa kabilang dulo. Please, kung makita niyo to, ako si Maxine Cayapado ng MMA 201. Nandito ako sa C401 at nasa tapat ako ng...
She explained that the doors were not locked. They simply wouldn't open, as if something on the other side was gripping the handle and refusing to let go. The more she pulled, the heavier it felt, almost like she was fighting with an invisible force. And right when she started recording a video to show exactly where she was, hoping someone would come help her, that's when the door suddenly swung open on its own. To this day, no one can say for sure what actually happened in that room, and this video remains a mystery. The following clip is about a family we've talked about on this channel before, and if you remember their story, then you already know things got pretty unsettling the first time around. Here's a quick rundown. It all began on random nights when their daughter would suddenly wake up crying, and while they were trying to calm her down, they'd hear someone knocking on their front door. It went on for several nights until the father finally decided to check. And the moment he opened that door, there was a figure standing right outside. After that encounter, the knocking stopped, but the house wasn't the same. Strange movements, electronics acting up, little things happening that didn't feel like coincidences. They prayed, they waited, and after a few months, the house finally settled. No knocking, no shadows, no disturbances. For a while, it seemed like whatever had shown up that night had moved on. But now, months later, the pattern seems to be starting all over again. Watch this. The following video is about a lady with an unusual hobby, collecting haunted dolls. And they're not just for display. According to her, each doll carries the spirit of a person who once lived, and her goal is to communicate with them, to understand their stories and share them with her audience. She even claims to have traced one of the spirits to its actual grave, naming each doll after the person believed to be attached to it, almost like preserving their memory through these objects. One day, during one of her live sessions, something happened. Watch.
There's nothing out there. Even the cats are confused. We have had scratching on the wall before. We've had scratching on the wall before. That's, unless she does it too, but that's always my wall scratching. I have wall scratching a lot. This is like a regular thing in my house. Usually Deanna, but I don't know why. Is that gonna stop? It's done now.
Some of her followers actually support what she's doing, saying she's giving these restless spirits a voice, helping them find peace, and treating them with respect instead of fear. In fact, many of her fans have developed the same fascination, even reaching out to her for recommendations on which haunted dolls to get and how to connect with them safely. But not everyone sees it that way. Others warn that she could be inviting dark or deceptive entities into her home, spirits that pretend to be harmless but might grow more aggressive over time. Some even fear she's accidentally creating a portal that could attach itself not just to her, but to anyone watching her live streams. But what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. In this next clip, an explorer visits one of America's most notoriously haunted sites, the Ohio State Reformatory. With over 200 recorded deaths within its walls, it's said the building still holds on to the pain, violence, and despair that once filled its cells. Also, the massive, echoing cell blocks are rumored to be crawling with activity, and visitors claim to have seen shadowy figures drifting from one cell to another, heard faint snoring when no one else was around, and felt a crushing sense of dread the deeper they went inside. But perhaps the most feared spot of all is what locals call the chair room, a small, bare chamber believed to house a particularly malevolent entity. Those who dare to taunt or challenge the spirit often leave with unexplained scratches or bruises, as if something invisible lashed out at them. While exploring different sections of the prison, this explorer captured something chilling on camera. Watch.
What the? That's some creepy ass shit. Hold on, I want to see this shit. And nothing. I am.
After posting the footage, others who had visited the reformatory began flooding the comments, sharing different encounters, strange sounds, sudden cold spots, and the overwhelming feeling that someone, or something, was watching them from the darkness. Now, in this next video, a man named David has been living through something absolutely terrifying for the past few days, and it's hard to explain what's really going on. Take a look.
I'm home alone. I'm hearing my own voice upstairs. The door won't stop knocking, and there's nobody there. This door keeps banging. I thought I was hearing my voice. Nobody's there. Go away! Ooh, that was right over my shoulder. Who's, I'm giving you one chance to leave. I know what you're doing. It's not scaring me. It's not scaring anybody else. You need to leave now. Yeah, I got a feeling you're in this room, aren't you? Are you in here? This again. Okay. All right. If you're gonna play these games all night, I'm not gonna play. I'm not doing this. And now I hear the bathroom water on. Good grief. Get out.
At first glance, some might think this could be someone messing with him. But then, how is it possible for one person to be in different places at once? Doors slamming in separate rooms within seconds of each other, the doorbell ringing, a voice mimicking him from somewhere inside, and that strange image that appeared right at the door? Some people believe David could be dealing with a poltergeist, a spirit capable of manipulating sound, movement, and even imitating voices to confuse its target. Others think it could be a residual haunting, where intense energy from past trauma replays over and over. Doors banging, sounds echoing, like time itself repeating. But then there are those who say the mimic voice and that eerie image at the door suggests something far darker, an entity pretending to be human, trying to lure him closer. But what do you think David's really dealing with? In the following video, a man named Ethan steps outside after hearing soft meowing at his doorstep, only to find a stray cat sitting quietly outside. But what really rattled him wasn't the cat, it was what he saw next. Watch.
Oh gosh. So I got the stray cat out here, right? Now checking on it. This thing's cute as fuck. And I look up. This shit. What the I'm gonna go look over. Real quick. Y'all see it? Oh, do y'all see that shit though? Is this disappearing?
There are a lot of angles to look at this from. Could it be that someone intentionally left the cat there, waiting to see if he'd come out? Or could the cat itself be something else, or maybe just a pawn, used as a distraction for something far more sinister? Others think the cat might have even been possessed or influenced, perhaps drawn to the energy of something already lingering around his home. Another theory is that the cat wasn't there to lure him, it was there to warn him. And then there's the most unsettling part, the man standing in the distance. If we're being honest, none of these possibilities sound comforting. In fact, each one is its own kind of nightmare. But here's where it gets even stranger. Before the whole cat situation, Ethan had already been dealing with something creepy in his basement. Watch this.
I'm in the basement. I'm about to talk to this ghost or whatever it is. It's pretty scary. If you can't tell, my basement is scary as hell. But let's talk to it. Is there anybody in here? If you're in here, show yourself. Oh no, y'all see that? The hell no. Is that a Oh hell no, hold up. Is anybody in here? Oh hell no, I'm out. I'm out this place.
After people saw this clip, they started to take the entire situation more seriously. Some even advised him to try communicating with whatever presence might be connected to it. So one night, when he heard heavy footsteps circling his property, Ethan grabbed his rifle and stepped outside to confront, or maybe speak to, whatever was out there. This is what he saw.
So I got told to go talk to it. So I'm gonna go talk to it. It's dark as I can't see shit. I see a few trees. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's dark as yeah. And scary as hell. Oh hell no, what the is that? What the oh no.
Whatever he captured that night left more questions than answers. Theories range from a human intruder playing psychological games, to a spirit trying to manifest physically, or something darker that defies explanation altogether. But since that night, his account went silent, so until he provides updates or someone finds out what really happened, this case remains an unsettling mystery. In this next clip, a woman who recently bought an old house built in 1917 believes she's sharing her home with a ghost. Though, according to her, it's not a threatening one. The only reason she and her family installed cameras was to capture whatever happens when they're not around. One afternoon, while she was home with her daughter, the little girl suddenly called out, saying she heard a ghost inside the vent in the bathroom. Curious, the woman followed her in. Then, her daughter said, "Ghost, if you're here, do something." And almost immediately, they heard a loud sound coming from the kitchen. This is what the camera caught. Ever since she bought the house in 2023, She says at least 2 childlike spirits have revealed themselves, sometimes through soft giggles or the sound of running across the hall. And while she insists they're harmless and even protective of her daughter, not everyone agrees. Some viewers believe it's dangerous to assume that any spirit, especially one interacting with a child, has good intentions. Others think it could be something pretending to be innocent, something trying to earn their trust. Still, she remains calm and welcoming, saying the house feels peaceful. But is it really? Or could this be the calm before something much darker reveals itself? I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. Now, in this next video, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration through one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. This time, he went into the old bar area, a spot that's gained quite a reputation over the years. According to past guests and staff, glasses have been seen sliding across tables, chairs shifting slightly on their own, and faint laughter echoing long after midnight. While recording, Ian decided to set his camera down and let it roll quietly. For a few minutes, nothing happened, but then this happened. Watch.
Could you tell me who you are? Not hearing him again. That was so weird. I wonder what would even cause that. There hasn't been any rumbling in the building, like at all. So how would you explain that? Could you move one of these cups down here? Oh God. That came from back in the dining room. Holy crap. That freaking scared me. Whatever that was. Hello? Who's making noises in here? No way. No way, that just moved. Did I really just see that? No way. No way. Dude, this glass just slid across the freaking table. Literally before my eyes. I've got goosebumps all over my arms right now. Holy moly. Oh my gosh.
The glass sitting perfectly still on the table suddenly slid, like someone unseen had just nudged it forward. But there was no one in the room, no visible vibration, and no airflow strong enough to cause that kind of motion. When Ian reviewed the footage, he was stunned. Some viewers think the spirit of Alice, the woman said to haunt the Argo, may have followed him from the basement, while others believe it's tied to a different tragedy that took place in the bar decades ago. Either way, one thing's clear. Whatever haunts the Argo Hotel doesn't seem ready to rest, and the stories about this place might just be true. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, a family's home security camera captures something they never expected involving their young son, who is autistic and extremely sensitive to changes in his environment. His parents explain that he's very routine-oriented and easily distressed by anything being out of place, especially at night. One night, while the entire household was asleep, they suddenly heard their son screaming in terror. Watch.
Mom, the elf has a man at the door. Help!
Imagine waking up around 1 a.m. to your autistic son crying, insisting that the elf on the shelf had moved on its own. For those unfamiliar, Elf on the Shelf is a popular holiday tradition where parents move a small elf figurine around the house each night to make it appear as though it's watching children's behavior for Santa. The rule is simple: the elf only moves when no one is watching. But in this case, no one was touching it when it moved. What makes this more unsettling is that the child was genuinely terrified, not confused or playful. Some viewers believe the stress of the tradition itself can cause children, especially those with sensory sensitivities, to panic when something appears different. Others point out that Elf on the Shelf has long been tied to darker folklore: small watching figures, silent observers, and objects believed to invite unwanted attention into a home. A few even argue that objects meant to watch children, even symbolically, can create fear-based expectations that manifest in disturbing ways. Whether this was a misunderstanding, a moment of heightened fear, or something far more unsettling, one thing is certain: the family hasn't been able to look at that elf the same way since. But what do you think happened here? Now, this next clip is an update from a previous video about a family who went to check out an apartment they were considering renting. At first, everything seemed normal, until just minutes after stepping inside, an unidentified voice was suddenly heard whispering the word Jadis. At the time, many viewers believed it could have been interference, audio distortion, or even someone outside the apartment. But something about the voice didn't sit right. After that video gained attention, the woman went back through the footage she recorded inside the apartment, and that's when she noticed something else she completely missed before. Watch closely.
Oh my god.
Just like the previous video, another voice can be heard. This time, some people swear they hear it saying, "Don't buy," almost like a warning. Others hear what sounds like a young boy softly saying, "Hello, Mum," while a different group of viewers are convinced the voice is saying, "Grandpa." What makes this unsettling is how common whispers are in reports tied to supposedly empty homes. Paranormal researchers often say whispered voices are one of the earliest signs of a presence, especially in places with emotional residue, homes where someone may have lived, passed away, or never fully moved on. Unlike loud noises, whispers are believed to be intentional, subtle, and directed, meant to be heard by specific people rather than caught accidentally. The first clip left many viewers deeply concerned, questioning whether the family went through with renting the apartment. But later, she confirmed that they didn't. And judging by what was captured on camera, many believe that decision may have spared them from something far more unsettling, whether the voices were warning them away or trying to make contact. This apartment clearly isn't as empty as it appears. In this next video, a woman who's been experiencing strange activity in her home finally manages to capture something on camera. For a while now, she's claimed to see dark figures appearing briefly in different parts of the house, always just out of full view, always gone the moment she looks directly at them. One evening, while she was home alone, she stepped out of her bathroom and noticed something unusual. Watch closely.
I hear a woman humming. You heard it too, huh?
As she walks out of the bathroom, she catches sight of something black moving. At first, she assumes it's just a shadow or her eyes adjusting to the lighting, but when she turns her head, the shape is still there, a dark, human-like figure peeping before vanishing moments later. Many viewers believe this could be what's commonly referred to as a shadow figure, entities often described as pitch-black silhouettes that appear briefly and disappear without a trace. Others think it could be tied to stress, fatigue, or the brain misinterpreting familiar spaces, especially when someone is alone and alert. But some point out that seeing a figure clearly enough to turn and face it suggests something more than imagination. Whether this was a shadow entity, residual energy, or something her mind can't explain yet, one thing is certain: whatever she saw felt real enough to leave her shaken. But Stego you think she's dealing with? Now, in this next clip, a family is dealing with the terrifying consequences of opening their door to something knocking in the middle of the night. At first, they thought it was just a mistake. Maybe a neighbor, maybe kids playing a prank. But ever since that moment, their nights have been anything but normal. Sleep has become nearly impossible. Objects shift around the house on their own, voices are heard when no one else is awake, and the knocking never truly stops. It only moves, echoing from different parts of the home. Watch this.
Voy a ir a ver, güey.
Sí, sí, ve.
Ya estoy grabando, ¿eh?
Sí, ya. Con cuidado, el palo, el tubo, ¿cómo está?
No mames, pero está tocando bien de güey. Aquí está, aquí está, aquí. A la máquina, güey. Márcala a la policía, güey. Sí. A la madre. A su verga, güey. A la verga. ¡Ey! ¡Ey!
Ábreme, hijo de tu puta madre.
¿Qué quieres?
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
¿Quién eres?
Soy el que andas buscando. ¿O que me querías ver? Aquí estoy. Ábreme.
La sangre de Cristo tiene poder.
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
¿Qué eres?
Soy el que tú quieres ver, cabrón. Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
¿Por qué estás molestando aquí? Aquí no hay nada. Y ahí le llamé a la patrulla, ¿eh?
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre. Querías verme, pues aquí estoy.
Pues entra a ver.
Ya estoy adentro de tu casa. Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
Lárgate a chingar a tu madre de aquí. Ya le hablé a la patrulla, ¿eh?
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre. Ya estoy ahí adentro de tu casa.
Ya viene la patrulla, nada más te aviso, ¿eh? Lárgate de aquí. Lárgate. ¿Ya le hablaste a la patrulla?
What makes this moment especially unsettling is that whatever is inside the house doesn't just knock anymore. This time, it responds. Paranormal researchers often warn that responding to unknown knocking or voices at night is one of the worst things you can do. Many believe it's an invitation, an acknowledgement that gives whatever is outside permission to cross a boundary. In this case, it seems whatever entered that night may be growing stronger, or worse, drawing in other presences. Some believe one spirit can act like a doorway, inviting others to follow. And judging by how the activity has escalated, this family may no longer be dealing with just one thing. But until we receive more updates from the family, this remains unsolved. The following clip was recorded by a team of paranormal investigators who entered a house already known for intense activity. From the moment they stepped inside, they said the atmosphere felt heavy, almost oppressive, like they were being watched. In a previous video we shared about this same location, their first instinct was to pray, something many believe can provoke or expose darker entities rather than calm them, and in that case, the prayers seemed to force whatever was in the house to make itself known, This time, their attention was drawn to a creepy doll sitting quietly inside the home. Instead of avoiding it, they decided to use it as part of an experiment. Watch closely.
Oricare spirit te află aici, oricare entitate, oricare demon, oricare suflet neliniștit, oricare strigoi, prin puterea primordială prin care am fost investit, îți ordon să miști pina aia. Marș de aici! Bă, mea! Râmea aia, băi, frate! Marș de aici, că nu cred așa ceva. Holy Jesus Christ! Îți ordon să miști pina aia. Marș de aici! Bă, mea! Vă arăt pina asta? Că nu-i legată cu nimic? Hă? Of, Doamne! Vă arăt pina asta? Hă?
Știi cum a două încoace, iau, răstoarnă, învârte și tot. Uite Dumnezeu, uite
Vă arăt pina asta care nu-i legată cu nimic?
Uite picioarele în ea, măi.
Hă? Dacă răbușa nu e abonată de asta.
Dar oricum poate să filmezi, stai seama.
Vă arăt, mă, puterea asta primordială?
There was nothing attached to the doll. No strings, no tricks, no hidden mechanism. The doll moved on its own. Some viewers argue the movement could be explained by balance or vibrations, but one of the investigators wasn't convinced that this alone was enough proof. So they decided to test something else nearby, choosing a completely different object to rule out coincidence. Take a look.
Oricare spirit te afla, oricare entitate, oricare demon, oricare strigoi, prin puterea primordială prin care am fost investit de către patriarh, îți ordon să miști.
Mirela.
Mișcă poza aia sau dă-o jos, fă ceva. Maș de aici! Aoleu! Uitați pozele, uitați poșetele, uitați poza că nu e legată cu nimic. Da? Uitați. Uitați pozele, uitați. Da? Da, Doamne.
After the second attempt, it became much harder to dismiss what was happening. Two separate objects responding under similar conditions suggested this wasn't just about the doll itself. Still, wanting absolute confirmation, they pushed further and attempted one final test. This time, they focused on something much larger.
Prin puterea prin care am fost investit, să rup perdeaua aia. Trage-o cât are.
Băi, Alin, băi. Doamne, mai
The curtains suddenly moved with force. Many believe this escalation is significant, and some say it shows the presence growing more aggressive the more it's challenged, while others warn that repeated provocation can turn a passive entity into a dangerous one. According to paranormal belief, spirits that respond with increasing force aren't simply playful, they're territorial, reactive, and possibly hostile. Whether this was a buildup of energy, a violent entity asserting control, or something darker reacting to being tested, one thing is clear. Whatever was inside that house didn't like being questioned. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian investigates the Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater, and this time he heads down into the basement. At first, everything feels calm, just old artifacts, storage rooms, and the quiet hum you'd expect from a historic building. But that calm doesn't last long. Watch and listen closely.
Creepy old fireplace. Oh my god, those sounded like voices. Hello? That legit sounded like people talking. Who's talking? Okay, there's definitely someone in there. Sounds like people talking in here. Hello? Who's in there? Talk to me. What's your name? Oh my gosh. Is there someone in here? There's literally nobody in here. Yet it sounded like there were. Oh. What's that smell?
The voices sound distant, almost conversational, as if someone is speaking just out of sight. Ian pauses, trying to pinpoint where it's coming from, when something else happens that confirms his suspicion that he isn't alone.
Alright, I know somebody's down here with me. Could you give me a sign of your presence? That door just opened! Oh my god! What just happened? Look at that. What? Are you serious? How do you explain that? That drawer just went boom. It just opened by itself. Thank you for opening the drawer. Could you shut it? That cigar smell is a lot stronger over here. It literally feels like there's 4 different spirits here sitting in each one of these chairs. And one of them just opened that. I can't thank you enough for opening that drawer. Thank you so much, because that was phenomenal. You got my heart rate going up. No way. It just moved again. Did you see that? Oh my god. I have no explanation for that. Wow, I am blown away. Thank you so much again.
This time, the movement isn't dramatic, but it's deliberate enough to catch his attention. Some viewers believe it's a response, subtle, controlled, and intentional. Ian considers possible explanations like pressure changes or airflow, but he can't find anything in the basement that would account for what just happened. Adding to the unease, longtime staff and investigators have shared rumors about this basement over the years. Some claim it's a hotspot for unexplained voices, especially late at night. Others say footsteps can be heard pacing back and forth when no one else is below, while a few report feeling sudden dizziness or heaviness in their chest after spending too much time down there. There are even stories suggesting the basement may have been used for private meetings and rehearsals long ago, leaving behind residual energy tied to intense emotion. So what do you think? Lingering energy from the theater's long history, or something more dangerous? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by a group of explorers who decided to enter an abandoned building surrounded by disturbing rumors. Locals claim that people go in and come out completely shaken, some reporting sudden dizziness, intense pressure in their chest, difficulty breathing, and an overwhelming feeling that they weren't welcome there. Others say electronics malfunction, footsteps echo through empty hallways, and objects seem to move on their own. The explorers went in hoping to communicate with whatever might be causing these experiences, but instead of answers, they encountered something that seemed to confirm every story they'd heard. Watch this.
Görüntü gidiyor, var bir şey. Var bir şey var. Görüntü gidiyor. Tamam, böyle dikkat. Biliyorum bir şey var orada. Kafamıza gelecekti Allah aşkına. Dokundu.
At one point, an axe suddenly fell, narrowly missing them. They were incredibly lucky it didn't land on anyone. Incidents like this raise unsettling questions about the kind of presence that could exist in places like this. Some theories suggest these spirits lash out when they feel threatened, disturbed, or when their space is invaded, especially in places tied to trauma, violence, or abandonment. Whatever was inside that building didn't seem interested in communicating. It seemed angry, and that makes this encounter far more dangerous than a typical paranormal investigation. Now, in this next clip, a family has been hearing strange noises coming from their basement. At first, they didn't think much of it since the sounds were faint, irregular, and easy to dismiss, the kind of thing you blame on the house settling or your imagination filling in the gaps. But over the next few weeks, everything changed. The noises started happening more often, they grew louder, and eventually impossible to ignore. Then, one night, while the family was asleep, a sudden, heavy noise from the basement jolted them awake. Instead of staying put, the husband decided to move closer to investigate, and that decision alone sent chills through viewers. Watch closely.
Hello? Oh my god!
After the footage surfaced, opinions were split. Some viewers insist it has to be an animal, something trapped or moving around below. But others aren't convinced. They point out that the footsteps sound human. So if it isn't an animal and it isn't just the house settling, then whatever made that noise was already inside the home, waiting in the darkest part of it. But I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. On the 14th of February, 2014, a man walks into a shop like any other day. Nothing about the moment seems unusual, but what no one inside the store realizes is that something else was inside the shop. Watch closely.
Look right here. Look right here. Right here. Look. Look, watch. What is that? What is that? And it's just gone, bruh. Look at this. It's there, and now it's not. It's there, and now it's not, bruh. What is that? Bruh. What is that? What is that? And then it's just gone.
The strange figure appears and disappears in a blink, so fast that the man didn't even sense that something was there. If it wasn't for the security camera, this moment would have passed unnoticed forever. Incidents like this raise an unsettling thought. How many things move through our world without us ever knowing? How many figures slip in and out of reality just beyond our perception? Too quick, too subtle, or too unexpected for the human mind to register. And even when footage like this does surface, many people still refuse to believe it. Some call it a glitch, others say it's a shadow, a reflection, or a trick of the camera. So what do you think? Was this an anomaly or a rare glimpse into something that's always around us, quietly passing through, unseen? In this next video, a woman captured a terrifying figure inside her own home. According to her, it's late at night, and she's replaying voice messages on her phone when an overwhelming feeling hits her, the unmistakable sense that someone is staring at her, not just a thought, not imagination, that deep instinctive awareness you get when eyes are fixed on you. Trusting that feeling, she lifts her phone toward the doorway. This is what she captures. A dark figure appears, peeking from behind the door, its shape just clear enough to suggest a face watching her. What makes this even more unsettling is that this wasn't the first warning sign. Before this moment, she says she'd been experiencing subtle things around the house. Doors left slightly open when she was sure she closed them, the sound of quiet movement at night, and that recurring sensation of being watched when no one else was home. Small things she brushed off at first. Until this. Many people say humans are wired to sense when they're being observed, even without seeing it. And moments like this make you wonder how often that instinct is right. Until she shares more updates, whatever was standing in that doorway and why it was watching her remains completely unsolved. Now, in this next clip, a couple shares footage from what was supposed to be a simple cave exploration somewhere in the UK. Nothing paranormal, no ghost hunting, just curiosity and a camera rolling. But like many explorers later admit, the strangest moments aren't always noticed in real time. They're discovered after, while reviewing the footage. Watch and listen closely.
I don't blame them. Imagine how many people you can fit in here.
Because you go in here, look.
How am I going to fit through there? What? Seen all the spiders?
Yeah, have you seen them?
During the exploration, his partner becomes overwhelmed by spiders and quickly exits the cave, clearly shaken. He laughs it off at first, still filming, thinking the danger is gone, but seconds later, his mood changes. He suddenly freezes, then jumps back, reacting to the feeling that something is moving toward him from deeper inside the cave. At the time, he didn't hear anything clearly. It's only after rewatching the footage that they notice the sound at the very end of the video. Some viewers suggest it could have been an animal, even comparing it to a bear-like snarl, possibly disturbed by their presence. But others point out that caves are isolated, ancient, largely untouched, and act as natural amplifiers for phenomena we don't fully understand. In this next video, a family is together, laughing, catching up, and enjoying a quiet moment until something happens. Watch closely. Out of nowhere, the table shifts and the reaction is instant. Everyone runs. Some viewers believe this could be a prank, suggesting someone nearby might have been under the table or pulled the table. But according to locals, this area already has a reputation. Families in the vicinity have complained for years about objects moving on their own, furniture shifting slightly when no one is touching it, and sudden disturbances that happen without warning. That's what makes this moment harder to brush off. When objects move in shared spaces like this, especially during calm moments, many believe it's often the first sign something is trying to make itself known. Whether this was human interference or something far more unsettling, one thing is clear. The moment whatever happened made itself known, no one wanted to stay around long enough to find out what caused it. So what do you think happened here? Speaking of objects moving, the family in this next clip has been struggling with something they can't seem to explain. They'll leave items in one place, chairs pushed under the table, doors fully shut, small objects carefully set down, only to come back later and find everything shifted, rearranged, or completely out of place. At first, they brushed it off as forgetfulness, thinking maybe someone else moved it, or they just remembered wrong, but the patterns kept repeating. Eventually, they decided to document everything. What you're about to see is a compilation of the activity they managed to catch on camera. Watch closely.
Bruno! ¡Bruno! Se movió la silla.
¿Leal?
Sí.
Corre.
Tipo, es de arquitecta.
Corre.
¡Te
To some viewers, this points to something trying to interact with the physical space, poltergeist-like behavior that focuses more on movement than appearances. Others believe it could be something residual, replaying energy over and over in the same areas of the house. They've been advised to send the footage to a priest, but until that happens, speculation continues. But what do you think? Is something attached to the house, or something dangerous followed them home? I'd love to know what you think about this kind of activity. Now, in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the historic Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater. This time, he heads back up to the top floor, returning to the main theater area to quietly film and listen for anything out of place. Watch closely.
It's like there's somebody up there. What the hell was that? Oh, shh. Oh my god, guys, it literally sounds like she's coming down these stairs. I smell perfume. What the heck? I smell perfume. And it's starting to feel colder in here too. Ma'am, you don't have to be shy. Feel free to come down and talk to me. Madam, what's your name? Oh my god! I heard that! That was a lady's voice! Thank you, Bam. I heard you loud and clear.
As Ian stands alone in the creepy space, he suddenly notices a strong perfume smell beginning to fill the air. What's unsettling is that the scent doesn't fade. It grows stronger, almost as if someone is moving closer to him. Paranormal investigators often associate sudden smells, especially perfume, with spirit presence, particularly when there's no logical source nearby. Moments later, this happened.
Here. Hello? Oh, holy shit! Oh my god! Dude! I just fucking saw her right there! It looked like a woman in a dress. She walked into the hallway. I gotta follow her. She went down this way. Oh my god. Every hair on my body is standing on end. Where'd you go?
I saw you go this way. I feel like I heard her say Mabel. It sounded like an M. Now that I think about it, that voice from earlier, it sounded like Mabel. I'm smelling that perfume smell again. Holy shit! Holy shit! No freaking way! Look at that! That thing just came undone!
This is where things take an even stranger turn. Ian believes he may have caught sight of a figure, possibly the infamous woman in white, briefly peeking out from behind the curtain. The combination of the intensifying perfume and the movement near the stage is enough to raise serious questions about what or who might still be lingering inside the theater. So what do you think? Lingering energy, a known spirit, or something else entirely? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following video, a man who's been complaining about strange occurrences in his home, claiming it's haunted, finally managed to capture something that might prove he's not imagining things. For months, he's told his landlord about what's been happening, but no one's ever taken him seriously. No proof, no evidence, just his word. But that changed one night when he woke up to a strange sound coming from outside. His first thought? The ghost is back. So this time, he grabbed his phone, determined to catch it in the act, and stepped outside to see what was going on. Watch this.
Oh my god, cái gì? Mất từng tay con chị tí ốc lên. Oh my god. Wow. Tao lên bị cái tụi này mà.
After recording the video, he immediately sent it to his landlord, hoping this would finally convince them something was off. He also shared it with a few friends, and before long, it was online for everyone to see. The comments that followed were a mix of sympathy and humor. Some joked that maybe the ghost was just helping out, but others pointed out something far darker. That perhaps a former tenant once lived and died there, and what the man captured wasn't a haunting at all, but the spirit replaying fragments of its past life, doing the same things it did before it passed. If that's true, then the man's nightly disturbances might not be a haunting out to scare him, but a restless echo of someone who simply doesn't realize they're gone. Hopefully, his landlord takes him seriously this time. Now, this next clip was recorded by a CCTV camera inside a shop, and what happened in it continues to stun everyone who's seen the footage. Watch this. At first glance, it looks like a normal night, nothing unusual, but then things start moving on their own. Items shift, fall, and one object in particular floats up off the counter, hovers for a moment in midair, and then drops straight to the floor. That's the moment everyone froze. Many people who've seen this footage tried to come up with logical explanations. Some say it could have been a mild earthquake or vibration, but no one's ever seen an earthquake lift something upward and keep it suspended like that before. Whatever happened in that shop that night, it's enough to make anyone question what they thought they knew about the world around them. So what do you think? Did the camera capture something paranormal, or is there another explanation that we just haven't figured out yet? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Now, in this next video, two roommates share their increasingly creepy situation. For a while now, they've been dealing with things that go far beyond what they can explain, and most of it seems to happen inside their garage. On some days, they'd hear loud banging sounds or tools clattering on their own, as if someone was working in there late at night. On other days, the lights would flicker violently, and the sound of something dragging across the concrete would echo through the house. It used to happen randomly, maybe once or twice a week, but now it's become a daily occurrence. So they decided to install a camera to finally see what's going on. Watch this. It's one thing to wake up to strange noises and find nothing there, but what the camera caught the second time made their skin crawl. One of the chairs in the garage was suddenly launched onto a couch. The couch is just out of frame, but if you look closely, you can see the chair move violently. Considering everything they've already endured, the constant noises, flickering lights, and movement when no one's around, it's hard to brush this off as mere coincidence. In the following clip, a lady named Jess wakes up early one morning to strange, unsettling sounds coming from her attic. Take a look.
It's okay, Booty. It's okay. Nope. Nope.
She was home alone with her two dogs. Kaiser was in the living room, and Butavius, her smaller one, was whining nervously beside her. When people online asked why she didn't go up to check, Jess had the perfect answer. In her words, that's how people get killed in horror movies. Y'all might have the courage to go look, but I don't. She explained that although she didn't necessarily feel any dark or negative energy that morning, she wasn't about to take chances either. Now, here's where things get interesting. Her attic doesn't have any windows, just a large old mirror that's been up there since she moved in, and according to Jess, people had warned her to get rid of that mirror long before anything strange even started happening. But lately, it's become almost routine. Every morning around the same time, she wakes up to banging and the sound of footsteps pacing above her. So, what do you think Jess is dealing with? Could that mirror be acting as a portal, reflecting more than just her image? Or is there something else hidden in that attic that's been trying to get her attention? You decide. In this next video, a woman is quietly breastfeeding her baby when something truly disturbing happens. Watch.
Lui? Bine de cameră? Mașina de etnie, o să ne camera. O să ne da bine de camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? This one?
If you look closely, the yoga ball by the left side of your screen, which had been perfectly still for several minutes, suddenly starts to move. Not a gentle roll, but a slow, deliberate shift, almost as if someone or something gave it a subtle push. According to her, she felt an icy chill at that exact moment, like someone had entered the room, watching her. Some people believe what she caught on camera wasn't random movement, but a spirit trying to draw her attention, maybe even jealous or drawn to the baby. She insists the windows were closed, there was no draft, and no one else was home. So whatever moved that ball, it didn't want to be ignored. Now, in this next video, Monica Monge works after hours, meaning she's on duty when the office is completely closed on holidays and weekends. But recently, her late night shifts have taken a very disturbing turn.
Here we go again. I don't know what the hell. The lights keep going on and off. Oh. Okay. I have to go upstairs. I don't know. That sound was at the same time as the light went on. Okay, it could be an electrical thing. Doesn't have to be scary. I don't know what's happening. I'm not scared, but Okay, so I'm at my desk now. The lights went out. They were going on and off when I was downstairs. I was able to capture it one time. I'm not scared. I'm over it, actually. I'm super irritated. I'm hearing shit. I hear whispering and humming. I'm about to go over there. Ugh. I'm not scared, but just super irritated. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm not scared. Okay. How do I turn the camera around? Okay. I fumbled on the phone. I'm not scared. I heard humming. I'm gonna open that closet again. I'm not afraid. Nothing can hurt me. There it is. What the heck? I had the security guard leave the light on for me in this room. And
you can clearly hear it, a soft humming, almost like a child singing a playful tune somewhere down the hall. Then a faint voice says, "What are you doing?" The flickering lights, the sudden power surges, It's enough to make anyone's skin crawl. According to Monica, she isn't the only one who's experienced this. Both security guards have also reported the same eerie humming and even voices coming from the empty cubicles. That night, after Monica left, one of the guards texted her saying a small toy pumpkin had been mysteriously moved to their station. When she was later asked if those toys were donated, she said yes. Some now believe one of those toys might carry a lingering attachment, maybe from a child who once owned it, one who never truly moved on. Others think the toys are acting as conduits, holding residual energy that wakes up when the building is quiet. But I'll let you be the judge on this one. In the following video, we meet Melody, a woman caught in a deeply unsettling situation that's been escalating fast. For weeks, she's been complaining about her back door opening on its own. Friends told her it was probably the wind, so she decided to test it by placing a heavy brick against the door. But what happened next was terrifying. By the next morning, the brick was gone, completely vanished, and the door was wide open. Later that day, she received a text message from an unknown number that read, "Stop ignoring. Is the brick still by the shed?" Moments after, her phone buzzed again with a chilling voicemail, a distorted, almost inhuman voice whispering something she couldn't fully make out. But that's not even the first strange thing that's happened. Just days earlier, this happened.
Okay, this might be nothing, but the timing is just not it. It was my birthday, right? And I got these flowers. Boom. They're dying. I know, that's not weird because it's me, okay? They die. No note. So, and I figured, you know, when it's my birthday, someone's gonna call or text me and be like, "Happy birthday, did you like my flowers?" That didn't happen. It didn't happen. So, hold on, my dogs are freaking out. Hold on. Back to the story. So today when I get home, okay, yeah, I leave a note.
If you look closely behind her, a dark, almost human-like figure seems to appear in the background for a split second before vanishing. Now, with the missing brick, the creepy text, the eerie voicemail, and the way her dogs bark uncontrollably at empty corners, Melody's beginning to feel like she's being watched. Some believe the figure could be tied to the property, maybe a previous resident or someone who once lived nearby. Others think it's something darker, possibly using electronics to communicate or mimic human behavior. And a few have even suggested the flowers left by her shed could be part of some kind of ritual offering. Whatever it is, Melody's story is growing stranger by the day, and until she shares more updates, this one remains an unnerving mystery. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration through one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. After running out of rooms where strange, unexplainable things had already happened, Ian pushed further into the building, determined to make sense of everything he'd seen so far. But what he didn't know was that the next room would add to the mystery. Watch this.
Right there, with the bead curtains. That's the door they literally had to remove because guests were getting freaked out. Well, it seems like they're gonna have to remove this door too, on top of it. If there's anyone in here, could you show yourself? Well, I'm getting orbs. And so in this photo here, they're floating around. Oh, there's like a bunch of them. Is that you I'm seeing? There's one floating over by the door, the bathroom door. Are you standing by this bathroom door here? Whoa, whoa. Those are moving. Those are moving. Oh my God. How are those moving right now? Is there some kind of like air current over here? I don't feel anything. There's no drafts. Nothing. No central air. Who's in here? Who just moved these beads? Talk to me. I'd just like to speak to you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I swear to God, I just heard a freaking whisper behind me. It sounded like it came from this room. If that was you, could you say that again? Oh my God. Oh, that startled me. Holy crap. That echoed from in here now.
He calmly called out to any spirit that might be present, and then everything went completely still. No movement, no sound. That sudden, unnatural silence made him uneasy, enough that he decided to leave the room. But before stepping out, he set up a camera, hoping to capture whatever might happen once he was gone. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, a man had just moved into a new apartment, hoping for a fresh start. But by the second night, things already felt off, and small details began piling up. Unexplained creaks in empty rooms, the feeling of being watched when the lights were off, and moments where the air felt strangely heavy, like someone else was sharing the space with him. One night, as he was getting into bed, he started hearing faint whispers. Not loud enough to make out words, but clear enough to know it wasn't coming from inside. When he grabbed his phone to record and prove to his friends, who hadn't been taking him seriously, the whispering stopped almost immediately, but the camera still caught something. Watch. When he reviewed the footage, he saw a shadowy figure, and what makes this more unsettling is that it didn't stop there. By the third day, then the fourth, the activity continued. Objects seemed slightly out of place, doors felt heavier than usual, and the same uneasy presence kept returning, especially at night. One evening, while recording another video to explain what had been happening, something interrupted him mid-sentence. Watch closely.
Okay, so this is my apartment, guys. So I moved here in around July, and at least I think around it was like last week I moved in, and the first day it was nice and peaceful, and everything was good. But then, you know, while I was here in my bedroom, It's nothing. But all of a sudden, lately I've been having very strange, kind of some weird paranormal type stuff where the doors opening by itself. And that was actually the second night. It was the second night. Then I think it was around 11. I was kind of in my office, but I was going to bed, and all of a sudden I look at this weird looking creepy apparition that was kind of exactly around right in the same air corner, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh crap! So I kind of ran. I'm like, what the heck is that? And it had hands, and I saw half of his face, but it looked like white ghostly. I don't know what it is, but very weird. It was very weird. But then all of a sudden, it's just crazy. Oh snap! What the heck? What the heck? Hello? What the heck? Y'all see that? Man, that thing drove by itself and there's no wind drag or nothing. Look at the fan, look at that fan, the fan working. What the heck? Y'all saw that, right? This is what I'm talking about. It's doing it by itself. Nobody there. What the frick is wrong with this? And to me, sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, but the air ain't on. And it usually come on. But goodness gracious, that was just weird. But this is what I'm talking about. And then 2 days ago, I decided, because I didn't get no videos from last week when I moved in. This time I had to do the video it was on Thursday. And I had my tripod, and I was like, okay, let me put this down and see what happens. Then all of a sudden, here comes a weird figure coming through the hallway. Coming through the dark hallway like it's crazy. Right in that corner. But the camera flipped the other way. It was the other way. So it was actually that way. But it was in that corner. So it's very weird. Well, very creepy stuff happening in my apartment. But I'm gonna need some paranormals out here. Man, I'll let you know if I see anything strange out there. But what you just saw, I think that there was no, I ain't seen, I don't know, I did not see nothing, and it just opened by itself. Nothing.
Some believe this suggests whatever is in the space doesn't just observe, but reacts when acknowledged. Others think it may be tied to the apartment itself, possibly something left behind by a previous tenant. Whether it's a shadow entity, residual energy, or something feeding off attention, one thing is clear. He's convinced he's not alone in that apartment. And if the activity has already escalated this quickly, the real question is, what happens next? In this next video, a woman discovers something deeply unsettling on her own phone, a video she has absolutely no memory of recording. Before you watch it, here's a quick backstory. She found this video exactly 2 weeks after someone very close to her passed away unexpectedly. And what makes this even harder to ignore is the fact that this was his home too. Watch closely. In the video, you can hear what sounds like a male voice softly singing, almost like a lullaby. The tone isn't aggressive, it's calm and gentle, and that's what unsettles people the most. Some viewers believe the voice is trying to comfort her, a quiet way of saying he's okay, that he's still around, watching over her. Others think it's something far more troubling, that he may be stuck, unable to move on, and this was his attempt to reach out for help in the only way he could. A few even suggest it could be an emotional imprint, something left behind in the house during a moment of intense grief. What adds another chilling layer is the time this video was recorded. The video was recorded at 2:59 a.m., a time often associated with heightened paranormal activity, a moment when the house is silent, the mind is vulnerable, and unexplained things seem more willing to surface. So was this a message meant only for her? A final attempt to communicate? Or is this something else entirely? Something that simply chose her phone, her home, and that moment in the night? You decide. Now, this next video was captured inside an old school by a man who works there overnight. Once everyone leaves, his job is to walk the halls, check classrooms, and make sure everything is locked and in place before morning. On one of those quiet night shifts, he started hearing sounds coming from the bathroom, the kind of sounds you'd expect if someone was actively using it: water running, movements, and subtle echoes. At first, he waited outside, assuming someone would eventually come out, but minutes passed, and no one did. When he finally decided to go in, this is what he saw. Watch.
Vámonos aquí. Mi trabajo es checar que ya no haya nadie. Apagar todo y cerrar todo. Es una escuela. Una escuela de noche. En Estados Unidos, que tiene muchos años esta escuela ya. Es una escuela muy viejita.
Your first thought would be faulty plumbing or pressure buildup in an old building, but you see, in a place meant to be completely empty, it felt less like a malfunction, and more like something replaying a routine that never really stopped. But I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. In the following video, a man named David shares his disturbing experiences and how the activity inside his house has left him completely confused and overwhelmed. At first, he believed he was dealing with a spirit trapped inside one of his dolls, a presence that seemed distressed, emotional, and very much in pain. Watch this.
¿Vieron cómo se movió la cortina? ¿Vieron cómo se movió la cortina? Y no es aire, o sea, tengo ventiladores y todo. Todo está cerrado aquí. Así no parece que me ve. Pero así sí. Y así es como me acuesto. ¿Pero quién es Daniel? Alexa, enciende la luz del baño.
Muy bien.
¿Qué? Pero no entiendo por qué aquí. No entiendo por qué en este lugar. Miren. Cambio de posición, ¿vieron? No me había dado cuenta. Estoy así, volteo a ver y ya me está viendo así. Vean la diferencia de cómo me estaba viendo cuando recién estaba levantándome a cómo está ahorita.
After seeing this, it's easy to understand why so many people believe the spirit inside the doll is suffering. In the clip, the voice coming from the doll sounds strained and desperate, repeatedly crying out the name Daniel, almost as if it's calling for someone who never came back. Some viewers believe the spirit may be asking for forgiveness, while others think it's reliving a traumatic moment, stuck in a loop it can't escape. What makes the moment even more unsettling is the fact that before David left the bathroom, the doll was like this. Then when he came back to the room, the doll was facing David directly. But things didn't stop there, and soon, it became clear that David wasn't just dealing with a doll and a voice anymore. One night, he hears a noise coming from outside and decides to investigate, hoping to finally get some clarity. Here's what he captured.
Otra vez, trabajando. Son las 12:31 de la noche. Y otra vez. Y estoy solo. Ya me cansé, en serio, ya me cansé. Ya estoy cansado. Otra vez. Ahí se ve la otra vez. ¿Se acuerdan? No hay nada. Me subo rápido. ¡Ay, no mames! Se me cayó el celular. ¿Lo vieron? Estaba ahí. No mames, ya no sé qué hacer. ¿Qué es esto, cabrón?
If you look closely, a terrifying figure suddenly appears out of the darkness, startling David completely. Some believe this figure could be a manifestation of the same spirit, no longer confined to the doll, while others think David may have attracted something far more sinister by acknowledging it for too long. And after this night, the focus of the haunting shifts entirely. Now, every single night, David begins hearing someone knocking at his door, and it's becoming unbearable. Watch this.
Son las 4:16 de la mañana. Recuerden que yo me duermo con la tele encendida. Escuchan, ¿no? Estoy tocando la puerta. Para los que me ponen en los comentarios acerca de que hago cortes en la cámara o que se ocultan en algún lado, qué sé yo, personas. Mi hermana estaba ahí porque la estábamos cuidando de algo que le pasó. No, nada. Nada. No sé. Ya déjenme en paz.
This time, he sees something different. Instead of a man, it looks like a woman. At this point, David is completely confused. First, a spirit crying out Daniel, then a frightening male figure outside his home, and now, a woman. Many viewers believe it's all still connected to that one doll, that the doll may have acted as a doorway, allowing multiple entities or manifestations to pass through, each presenting itself in a different form. One night, desperate to distract himself from the growing tension in the house, David sits down to watch the popular sitcom Friends. But even Joey and Chandler's jokes couldn't help because he suddenly hears a voice, this time loudly shouting his name. Combined with the fact that his cat has been extremely restless, constantly staring at empty spaces and reacting to things David can't see, the situation becomes even more concerning. And sometimes when David checks the window, he sees something absolutely terrifying waiting there. A creepy, unnatural-looking figure standing outside after he hears someone knocking on his door. And this is exactly why so many people say you should never open the door when you hear someone knocking, especially late at night. Some believe responding gives whatever is outside permission to enter, while others think it's a test, to see if you'll acknowledge it at all. Whether it's one spirit manifesting in different ways or something darker that latched on through the doll, everything seems confusing. So until David shares more updates, this case remains a mystery. Now in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo exploration through the haunted buildings of Bonanzaville. This time, his next stop is the church. Built in 1890, the South Pleasant Church carries decades of quiet history, but it's also one of the locations visitors find the most unsettling. Many believe the church is haunted by what can only be described as shadowy children. They're often reported darting between pews, appearing briefly near the altar, and then vanishing just as quickly. Some visitors even claim to have found small, dusty footprints on the floor, far too small to belong to an adult, appearing where no one had walked moments before. And if you know Ian well, you'll know that's enough reason for him to go in.
I'd just like to be your friend. My name is Ian, and I'd just like to be friends with anyone in here. Would you like to play? Why do you stay at this church? Where are your parents? Whoa. Hello? I think I finally heard something. Okay, I think I heard somebody over there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dude, an orb just freaking went flying. Was that you? Are you running around?
During this moment, Ian manages to capture a strange light anomaly on his camcorder. Some believe this could be one of the ghostly children said to dart around this very church, briefly revealing itself before slipping away again. But Ian didn't give up yet. Watch what happens next.
Are you up here? Little boy or little girl? I saw you. Whoa, I just felt something pull on my jacket. It was like right behind me. And it was real low, like a little child. Did you just tug on my jacket? I think I just felt you. It's okay if you did.
At this point, he comes to a conclusion. Whatever is here isn't following him from place to place. Instead, each structure holds onto its own past, its own energy, and perhaps its own spirits. With that realization, Ian finally decides it's time to bring this part of the investigation to an end. But while Ian walks away this time, the spirits tied to these places aren't going anywhere. So the real question is, what happens when the next visitor steps inside? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now.